A very good evening to you. Thank you for making time to watch TV47 News Weekend. Definitely you're getting this bulletin from County 001 in our Mombasa studios. I am Mariam Mwacharo and this is the home of Untold Stories. Now we have a lot lined up for you on this bulletin tonight. But first, let's take a look at what we have for you, the highlights.
Kenya mourns the death of the first governor to succumb to COVID-19. Nyamira Governor John Nyagarama died today morning. Also tonight, the Assumption of Office ceremony for Nairobi City County Assembly Speaker Benson Mutura as interim governor aborts after the judge arrived late for the event. Plus, Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe threatens healthcare workers with job losses if they do not call off their strike and return back to work. And the National Treasury releases 93 million shillings out of the 200 million shillings the IEBC requires to verify the BBI referendum bill signatures.
Now we begin with Nyamira County Governor John Nyagarama is dead. Nyagarama died at the Nairobi hospital on Friday morning where he was being treated for COVID-19. Several leaders have eulogized the late governor as a humble leader who worked towards uniting Southern Nyanza leaders.
Nyamira County Governor John Obiero Nyagarama died on Friday morning at the Nairobi hospital where he was being treated for COVID-19. Nyagarama was admitted into the hospital about 3 weeks ago when he tested positive for COVID-19. Although the governor tested negative in a second test 21 days later, the virus had badly affected his lungs and was transferred to the ICU. Several leaders led the country in mourning Nyagarama's death, with some eulogizing him as a peace-loving leader who endeavored to unite Nyanza region leaders.
To the devolution family, we have been robbed a great leader who made valuable contribution in realizing the devolution dream.
He was such a decent man, and he was everyone's father and everyone's elder. A very nice man who, very calmly consulted everyone, never raised his voice, and fostered a very strong sense of unity in the county.
We stand with the people of Nyamira, we stand with the family, and as a devolution family, we have lost one of our very, very committed member as the Council of Governors. Leaders from the Gusii community met to deliberate on the burial plans, selecting Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i to lead the burial committee. However, the Council of Governors has formed a subcommittee to give Governor Nyagarama a proper send-off.
Tentatively, we have held a leaders meeting this afternoon to deliberate on arrangements of the late governor. And we have agreed on some arrangements, some of them which will be issued in the due course.
And we have unanimously agreed that our CS, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, will chair the funeral arrangement committee, and they will be assisted by the governor for the county of Kisii, His Excellency Elvis Omariba Ongwae.
As a council, we have also formed a committee, a subcommittee that will be specifically dealing with the burial arrangement that will liaise with the family of the late governor and also will liaise with the national government so that we are able to prepare a dignified burial for our colleagues.
The death of the 74-year-old second-term governor, who was elected on an ODM party ticket, comes as a shock not just to the residents of Nyamira County, but also the proponents of the Building Bridges Initiative BBI report. Governor Nyagarama has been at the forefront in drumming up support for the document, which seeks to amend the constitution. Musa Salah, TV47, Nairobi.
Elsewhere, the body of the deceased Kabuchai Member of Parliament James Lusweti Mukwe was today airlifted from Nairobi to Bungoma airstrip before it was driven to his burial Sarandiki village, Kabuchai constituency in Bungoma County, where the late is set to be interred tomorrow. Mike Kagwongo has the details, and as Mike Kagwongo reports, another politician, Joe Nyaga, will also be buried tomorrow in his burial home in Bere, South Embu County.
The late James Lusweti breathed his last on December 4th after a long battle with blood pressure. He will be remembered as a humorous and hard-working leader, with many stating that his development record in the constituency will be a memory to cherish.
Tumempoteza mbunge ambaye mwenye nguvu, ushujaa, mwenye hata haokopi kitu chochote.
Alikuwa anapenda vijana, kila mtu soko alikuwa anakaa na sisi. Tena alikuwa kiongozi mzuri sana. Hata nyumbani kwake alikuwa mtu mwenye open, hata ukienda kwake gate iko open.
Leaders who were present to receive his body, led by Ford Kenya Party leader Moses Wetangula, eulogized the late as a peace-loving and strong individual who valued transparency in leadership.
In sending our message of condolences to the family, relatives and friends of our brother James Lusweti Mukwe, our departed member of Kabuchai constituency.
Mheshimiwa alikuwa ni mchapakazi. At one point, watu wa Kabuchai mulikuwa number 1 Kenya mzima kwa CDF. Na hiyo ilikuwa ni heshima kubwa sana kwa sababu mheshimiwa alikuwa mchapakazi.
Nilikuwa naomboleza rafiki James akifanya katika idara ya post office. Mimi pia nilikuwa katika idara ya post office. Wakati amekuwa kanzola, alikuwa kanzola na marehemu mume wangu Morris Nangabo.
Wetangula also asked the government to intervene in the ongoing health workers strike, which has adversely affected many Kenyans.
We want our doctors, our nurses and all our paramedics to be respected, appreciated and paid whatever they deserve as workers on the front line of the health of the people of Kenya.
The leaders further urged residents to embrace coexistence and admonish leaders who are believed to be planning violence during the funeral of the late Mukwe.
Mambo ile tulikuwa tunasikia hii ya viongozi sisi kutumia vijana kupigana kwa matanga imepotea na ipotea hata kesho. Tukikupata tu my friend utaishia jela na milele na milele.
There might be imperfections here and there, but those imperfections can be dealt with as we build our country. Because making a constitution is not an event. It's a process. It's a journey. And a good constitution will always give way to a better constitution tomorrow. A better constitution will always give way to the best constitution the next day.
And as Kabuchai bids farewell to their MP tomorrow, in Bere South, Embu County, residents will be saying goodbye to former MP and Cabinet Minister Joe Nyaga. Joe Nyaga died of COVID-19 at a Nairobi hospital. For TV47, I'm Mike Kagwongo.
On other news, the swearing-in ceremony of Nairobi County Assembly Speaker Benson Mutura as Nairobi Governor in acting capacity following the impeachment of Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko by the Senate has been postponed indefinitely. The postponement comes after a High Court judge tasked with officiating the swearing-in turned up late, forcing the Assumptions Committee to defer the ceremony to a later date. David Mudhoka reports.
The stage was set. On the other hand, various county and national government officials as well as some members of the Nairobi County Assembly sat pensively in their designated seats ahead of the swearing-in ceremony of City Hall Speaker Benson Mutura as acting governor of Nairobi City County following Governor Mike Sonko's ouster by Senate on Thursday.
Pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Government Act, and Standing Order number 75 of the Senate Standing Orders, Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko of Nairobi City County stands impeached.
And when just a few minutes to 2 p.m. Speaker Mutura made his way into City Hall, it seemed like it was all systems go. Then the bombshell was dropped.
Jaji ambaye amefika hapa amefika saa 8:01. Kulingana na function hii, iwezi timika zaidi ya saa 8:01.
The back of the swearing-in of a governor into office stops with the High Court judge, the only official legally authorized to oversee the taking of oath before the assumption of office, with the law requiring the ceremony to be held between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. The judge's lateness meant that any swearing-in happening beyond 2 p.m. would be illegitimate, thus the deferment.
Right behind me is City Hall, where the particular swearing-in ceremony was supposed to take place. And right in front of me is the Supreme Court of Kenya, the citadel of the Judicial Service Commission. Now, how a judge can be late to a swearing-in ceremony vital for Nairobians, despite these two key institutions facing each other, is raising eyebrows.
The Assumptions Committee responsible for the swearing-in has, however, insisted that the ceremony will take place at a later date. Once that is set in motion, Mutura will assume the role of Nairobi City County Governor in an acting capacity for 60 days to pave the way for IEBC to plan a by-election, because Nairobi does not have a deputy governor who would have otherwise become governor until 2022, following the resignation of Sonko's second in command Polycarp Igathe in January 2018. It still remains unclear whether impeached Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko will vie after he was issued a vote of no confidence by both the Senate and City Hall.
I vote yes.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes. Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Last night, 27 out of 46 senators voted to uphold the decision of 88 Nairobi MCAs who had previously impeached Sonko on grounds of abuse of office, gross misconduct, and abuse of national law, making him the second governor to be ousted in the history of devolution after former Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu Babayao.
Tuesday. Thank you very much, Assumption Committee.
Following the postponement of the swearing-in ceremony of City Hall Speaker Benson Mutura into the office of Nairobi Governor, albeit in acting capacity, for the second night running, that particular office of Nairobi Governor will remain vacant. David Muthoka, TV47 at City Hall, Nairobi.
Well, Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has warned health workers who are on strike that they risk losing their jobs should they fail to call off the strike as directed by the court. However, the Cabinet Secretary's announcement has not been received well by health workers who have now vowed not to go back to work until all their demands are met. Zainab Muhammad with the details.
Welcome, Waziri.
12 days into the clinical and nurses' nationwide strike, the battle seems far from over as Health CS Mutahi Kagwe now issues a stern warning to the frontliners that they risk losing their job should they fail to suspend the strike as directed by the court. According to Mutahi, the court order clearly dictates that the union bodies should suspend the strike temporarily to create room for more negotiations.
Those of you who may have been on strike to resume to avoid losing your jobs. Please do not lose your job as we go towards Christmas, as we go towards the festive season. Do not be the one statistic again who will be a job seeker next year.
However, the CS announcement has not been received well by health workers who have now vowed not to go back to work until all their demands are met. The union officials insisting the court order is illegal and unsubstantiated before the law.
Ila nyingine haijaguzwa popote, kumaanisha kwamba mgomo utaendelea. Na tunataka kumuhimiza akitaka kuwa kiongozi mwema aweze kurudi chini na aweze kusikiza wahudumu wa afya. Mpira uko kwao, wapende kucheza, walale nao, wafanye nini, sisi mgomo utaendelea. na mpaka wakati ule tutahakikisha kwamba tuko na vile vifaa vya kujikinga na COVID-19 na hali ya afya, yani ile ambayo inasapoti afya imeweza kurejeshwa katika hospitali zetu, basi katika hiyo hospitali hatukanyagi ng'o.
Elsewhere, patients in Baringo County are feeling the hard-hitting effects of the health workers' strike that has now rendered them helpless with no medical service available. Area leaders now blaming the government for failing to prioritize the needs of the common mwananchi.
Mpaka sasa hajapata usaidizi yoyote. Sijui nitafanya nini. Sasa na mkuu amevunjika. Sasa mkuu akivunjika, akipita saa ya kusaitisha, utapata kweli lina na kuharibika tu.
Maisha ya mwananchi ya Kenya ni ya maana kuliko PPI. Kwa sababu tukikimbiza PPI na tupoteze wa Kenya, hatutakuwa tumesaidia. So na ombi langu hata kwa national government kwamba tuweke mambo yetu kando na tuone ya kwamba madaktari wetu wameweza kupata yale vitu ambayo ilikuwa inahitaji.
Zainab Mohamed, TV47.
Moving on, the government of Kenya will start administering the COVID-19 vaccine in the first quarter of 2021. Director General in the Health Ministry, Dr. Patrick Amoth, has confirmed. Amoth says the government has singled out the AstraZeneca vaccine that has attained all the parameters set. Kenya was party to the clinical trials of the registered vaccine in the Kilifi Wellcome Trust Research Program, as John Maina reports.
Kenya is set to receive 24 billion doses of the COVID-19 vaccine under the COVAX facility that brings together over 189 countries in search of one common vaccine. The government will then invest 10 billion Kenyan shillings to buy additional 12 million doses that will cover 10% of the population after the first vaccine administration.
The third vaccine that is in the offing is the one of Oxford AstraZeneca, and this particular one, Kenya has actually participated in the clinical trials in our Kemri Wellcome Trust Kilifi Center, and it has shown good efficacy, and based on the parameters that we are looking at, this would be one of the frontline vaccine candidates that we shall use as a country.
The AstraZeneca vaccine that the government has identified has fulfilled all the set parameters, including vector carrier, cost effectiveness, and fitness within our existing cooling system of 2 to 8 degrees. This is according to the Director General Health Ministry, Dr. Patrick Amoth.
In the area of vaccines, what we actually watch for are three things. We watch for the safety of the vaccine. We watch for immunogenicity, that if injected into you, you will be able to produce proteins that now will make it impossible for you to get the infection we are targeting. And finally, we look at the vaccine efficacy or its role in preventing disease.
Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has also confirmed that the vaccine will be administered free of charge to Kenyans, with the first beneficiaries of the vaccine being the health workers, teachers, uniformed security forces, people with underlying conditions, and people above the age of 50 years.
So wananchis will not, I can tell you, wananchis will not be charged for the vaccine, but you have heard also that because of the unavailability of the vaccine, we have to have a priority list.
The Ministry of Health, however, reiterated that Kenyans will have to continue observing the prevention protocols issued by the government to avoid contracting the disease. Joanne Maina, TV47.
Well, there's a lot more in store for you after this short break. Just remember that you can join in the discussion on our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is at TV47 Kenya, or you can join us on our website on www.tv47.co.ke. Do not go too far.
ebindaya tanu, ebindaya moyo, ebindaya thime, ebindaya nguma, kwata kawaya, kwata view. Hey, what's up? My name is Movie, and thank you. For the last 3 months, we've been watching Coffee with Movie. Nasema ni asante, nashukuru. Thank you for the suggestions, for the opinions, for the suggestions of who you want us to have, and the better ideas of how we can modify this show to suit you as best as possible. Nataka niwawish Merry Christmas, Happy Brand New Year 2021. Au sio? It will be bigger, greater, fuller, excellenter. Au sio? I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New 2021, yo.
We let you take us through your journey.
The report of the scan came out. The doctor told us that the scan is showing my baby had already passed on.
I don't like people standing too close to me. I don't like people standing behind me.
And give hope after beating all odds.
We don't choose how we are born. We don't choose how we are raised. The choices we have in this life are virtually limited.
Only on Confessions with Maria every Saturday at 8 p.m.
Sunday yes, Sunday mwami. Mtumishi hapa papa unichasero baya niweze kumushinda shetani. Sunday yes. Tuko ndani ya TV47, don't move, usisonge, pakia hapo na tuna hang out na Coffee with Mbufi na tunaelekea wakati wa Christmas. Please share. Ukiona kakitu tu, pitia mahali wachia mtu na utachaswa na roho ya TV47. Papa unichase roho, niweze kumushinda shetani. Sunday, wacha nimalizie chai.
Ebindaya seyo, ebindaya tanu, ebindaya moyo, ebindaya thime, ebindaya nguma, kwata kawaya, kwata view. Hey, what's up? My name is Movie, and thank you. For the last 3 months, we've been watching Coffee with Movie. Nasema ni asante, nashukuru. Thank you for the suggestions, for the opinions, for the suggestions of who you want us to have, and the better ideas of how we can modify this show to suit you as best as possible. Nataka niwawish Merry Christmas, Happy Brand New Year 2021. Au sio? It will be bigger, greater, fuller, excellenter. Au sio? I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New 2021, yo.
We let you take us through your journey.
The report of the scan came out. The doctor told us
Well, thank you for staying tuned. Now, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, is expected to commence signature verification exercise anytime from today after receiving a 93.7 million shillings budget from the National Treasury. This coming amid calls by Deputy President and his allies for Kenyans to be supplied with copies of the BBR report. Liz Mutuku reports.
After 2 weeks of pausing the BBR reggae for lack of signature verification budget, the tunes now seem set to resume, with IEBC expected to receive 93.7 million shillings budget for the whole process. IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati had categorically stated the process won't commence without the budget.
Our team is already available. We have a referendum committee which will undertake the exercise of signature verification. But of course, we shall not commence until we get a budget and exchequer from the National Treasury.
Today, Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukuru Yatani approved the 93.7 million shillings budget as opposed to the 241 million shillings requested by IEBC. IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati had said the budget would, besides other expenses, cater for accommodation for the officers, verifying the signatures due to COVID-19 guidelines. According to BBI proponents, the exercise should take at least 2 weeks, while IEBC is requesting for at least 3 months to complete the process. This comes as Deputy President William Ruto and his allies champion for consensus, urging the BBI team to provide Kenyans with copies of BBI.
Sasa hiyo maneno ya Wapanya, maneno ya Raila, mimi nasema riswa. Riswa. Na wao Wapanya usifikiria watakuta kudanganya watu wa Malava tena siku nyingine. Wewe kunipeleka huko, leo unajua mimi ni Mkristo. Alafu sasa mimi nakuwa na salamu nyingine hapo. Mimi nashangaa mbona nilikuwa natetemeka mikono? Mbona? Mimi nikatetemeka mikono mpaka sasa Raila akafikiria mimi na dance reggae na mimi siko na dance reggae. Kwa hiyo maneno mimi nimekataa na nimekataa.
Wacha mwananchi aamue baada ya kuelewa ni nini anahitajika kuamua. Simwambie tu mwananchi aamue yes ama no, hapana. Mwananchi kwanza aelewe ni yes ama no on what. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Tuko pamoja? Unasikia mtu mwingine anasema unajua hao wananchi watachanganyikiwa, hawatajua. Sasa wewe mwananchi anaenda kwa debe, anachagua MCA bila kuchanganyikiwa, anachagua mbunge bila kuchanganyikiwa, anachagua women rep, anachagua senator, anachagua governor, anachagua rais bila kuchanganyikiwa. Sasa mambo ya katiba ataenda kuchanganyikiwa au kwa sababu gani?
After IEBC is done with the